What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Magic Hour. I'm your host, Majid Andary, AKA MagicLeb. Be sure to follow me on my Instagram at Fame Film Agency and subscribe to my YouTube at Majid Andary. Today, we have a newbie, somebody very new to the comedy game. Please welcome Mr. Ben Petch.
Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome, welcome. So you are a virgin comedian.
Second timer.
So
you filmed me last time.
You busted your cherry.
You were there. You witnessed my debut.
I filmed it too.
You filmed it.
That's right. That's right. Well, you know. Very similar to to losing your virginity. It's a bumpy ride. All right, you don't know exactly what you're doing, but you do have that common goal to be at the end of that performance, and then you know that next time you're going to be better.
Yeah, well, I've watched a lot before. Okay. I've got experience
like
of watching
porn and trying to do that. You're not going to grab it right away, but you keep watching and keep learning. And the comedy is in the same way. I mean, there are people who are just naturally gifted.
Correct.
Who have never done comedy, but they've studied it enough, but they've never done it on stage before. And when they get on for the first time, they kill it.
Yeah,
Why?
that's
because
right.
they worked on it.
Correct.
Basically, it's like jerking off 100 times before you get ready for a woman. Now you know how to do it. Now I know when to lean back. I know when to go for the attack. I know when to
and you just tell them that it's not your first time.
Yeah, well, you can. But actually, they'll be more impressed if you did.
Yeah.
And then be like, damn, I've got to get a second one of those.
That's right, mate.
So that's what you want to do. Now, so Ben, what was it? When was the pivotal moment where you said to yourself, yeah, I should do stand-up?
I'll give you a bit of context around that, but I've got some news to break to you, mate. Yeah. My actual name's not Ben.
Okay.
It's actually my recent stage name, if you want to quickly hear that.
Fine, go ahead.
And then I'll answer your question.
No, fine.
So my name's actual David, so David Petch is my name. But when I did that stand-up at Christie's, the House at Christie's, the feature act was Todd, what's his last name?
Gray.
Thank you. Todd Gray. And at the end, Todd did a bit of a thank you speech. Like, thanks, everyone. Thanks for coming up here. I was sitting at the front row. And Todd's like, it's good to see newbies like, Ben. Mm. He called me Ben. And then Ali was like, your name's not Ben. I don't know. So I went with Ben. So
I was looking for you as David and I couldn't find it, but I found you as Ben.
Yeah, that's right.
So
now it's Ben based on Todd Gray. So special shout out to Todd.
Okay.
Sorry, to answer your question.
No. Before you answer, it's okay. You don't have to be that close to the mic. You can actually be more relaxed. That mic picks up pretty well. Sorry. I only want people who have a very soft voice to get closer to the mic, but your voice volume is perfect. So you can you don't have to feel the need to do this.
Okay. All right. So
yeah, go ahead.
Relax. So what's the question again?
Yeah. When was the moment that you said, I got to do comedy?
I've actually done a lot of comedy growing up. But a lot of script comedy, sketch comedy, that kind of aspect of comedy.
I like that.
The comedy I was more into was also burning comedy. I burn people in my comedy.
Like roasting.
Yeah, roasting, correct. Thank you. With that. So that was my background of comedy, roasting, just on the stage. And then someone I used to work with, he was doing stand-up and he just started and he asked me to come to one of his acts, which I did. And then I thought, I could do this. I'll give it a go. You know what I mean? Like,
were you ever scared? Were you ever scared of bombing on stage?
Nah. I'm a kamikaze. A kind of comedian. I just do it because it's something. I've got no shame or anything like that. Nah. So I don't care about bombing because I just do it because it's something different. I like a challenge and I like to do something different. So
that's cool. Well, I just want to address to whoever's watching, Kent. The reason why you're wearing his sunglasses, he's not high.
No, I'm not.
All right. He's. You said to me earlier that you got like.
I'm famous. Nah.
Yeah. You got a problem with your eyes or something?
Yeah, I got sunburnt.
Yeah.
Earlier, and my eyes are really sensitive at the moment, and they're really somewhat red.
Okay.
So especially if there's lights around.
And there's lights around. I have to light up
this
my
is a studio.
Yeah.
And it's a very good studio. Yeah. You've done well.
Yeah, no. Well, this is supposed to be a dining room. Technically, this is a dining room.
It's comfortable chairs.
We never
good
eat
host.
Here. We never eat here, so I figured, let me just design it up a little bit until the funding gets in, and then I'll have my own big ass studio with a green screen and God knows what have you.
Well, after this, I think you'll get some funding.
Who knows? Now, what do you hope to achieve now that you have entered the world of stand-up?
I think with stand-up is more of a confidence thing for me.
Yeah.
Really just, I find I've never, like I said, I've only done one ever, stand-up.
And that was at Christie's. You haven't done
And that
one?
was at Christie's. No.
You haven't done one after that?
Nah, it's the only time I've done it. And then, of course, I've got Raw Comedy tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm. Well, tomorrow night will be last week by the time the show uploads. So we are the 22nd of January. Tomorrow being the 23rd. So
so there's actually, I've been to all the heats so far, and I've watched them all so far.
How has it been going? Has it been very competitive, or did you find like that was an easy loss or an easy win for them?
I think a couple of heats, I won't name them I'm
not talking about naming people. I'm just talking about the overall
some of the heats I found weren't as competitive, but then I've noticed there were some competitive heats. Mm-hmm. I've kind of guessed the winner, basically, of 3 of the 4 heats. I think they've had 3 heats so far. Mm-hmm. They've got 1 tonight, but I've got priorities, or else I would have went.
He's here.
Yeah, so that's my priority here, is to be here, then to go to the heat. So there's 1 heat tonight, 1 tomorrow. And those 3 heats, I find with Raw Comedy, it's very structured. You've got to be very structured and very PG. I find those ones that are very structured, very confident, very PG are the ones that win it. There was one that I felt he probably wasn't the funniest or the best, but they end up winning it. So, but the other 2, they were definitely the standouts. And I could tell it's those people that are just structured, organised. You only get 5 minutes. And it's got to be PG. You can't go on stage and start doing sexual movements or body things or drinking on stage or vaping on stage. And the other thing is sticking to the 5 minutes.
Yeah, well,
I find it hard people stick to the 5 minutes.
They don't allow smoking inside anyway.
Yeah, well, they were vaping.
Really, there were people that were vaping.
Yeah.
Okay, so like if a comedian was to talk about a controversial topic, they basically
I think they'll lose points. I think Raw, because if they go to the national finals, it's actually televised. I think it's on SBS or ABC. So I think they want to PG, and I think this is my view. I think they want someone younger because ideally they can mold them for the next 20 years or something. So ideally, that's my views. But I've seen that. But definitely those that are organised, they stick within the 5 minutes. They're not controversial. Because that's part of the conditions of Raw. If you actually read the terms, there's actually specific terms and conditions. Don't be racist. Don't be things. So.
Well, the thing is, I didn't see those conditions. I don't think age is a factor. I mean, if you got gold and you made the people laugh.
Yeah.
I don't think they should take age as a factor. Like, you know what, he's old, even though he killed it and was better than everybody else, I'm going to scratch him out. That's the wrong way of
I can understand that, but we'll see. We'll see who wins the national final.
We'll see.
If they're under the age of 20.
But here's my point. Like, let's say they are judging not based on how well they do or how funny they were, but based by an ideology that they think they should win so they can mold them, like you say. This will be detrimental for them when they compete against whoever they need to compete against after they win this whole Raw thing.
Yeah, correct.
I mean, like it's like sending an amateur against a real professional. I mean, underdog stories happen.
Yeah,
but very unlikely that they do. So, and I have also noticed with certain people, whoever brings the most people to come and see them and make sure they laugh their asses off, even if it's fake laugh, but they make the noise. Yeah. That goes to the judging scores, apparently.
Yeah, because, crowd interaction is one of the things. Yeah.
But obviously, if you're a judge, I've judged karaoke's. Back in Bahrain, I was asked to because I was doing comedy there. And
do they do it in English mainly? The karaoke?
All English. With the exception of 1 or 2 that sings a Spanish song or whatever. And crowd interaction is part of the judging. But the crowd think the judges are stupid.
Yeah.
Because we can tell what a genuine crowd sounds like and what one that is so forced sounds like. There was one woman who, at the end, she sang her song and all the crowd jumped, because she brought it in them. Yeah. The others were forced. Because they want their friend to win. It's like, and they scream or whatever. And we went for it. And if anything, I deducted points because of that.
Yeah.
I purposely did not want them to win.
Yeah.
But when this woman at the end came out, and it was kind of close. It was close to who was winning.
Yeah.
When the last one came out, I scratched all the others out. This is the winner.
Yeah.
This is the perfect 10 right here.
Yeah. And I noticed with some of them they've done Raw. Like I said, I've gone to all of them except tonight because I've got commitments. But I've noticed that those that are very structured, very organized, they've got their punchlines, they stick within the time limit, they really like those. But I always question, are they just one-hit wonders? You know, can they actually deliver this raw? Because ideally it's called raw comedy. You know, you're meant to be out there giving raw comedy.
And it can be, there should be space to be a little vulgar.
Yeah,
to be controversial, to attack sensitive subjects.
Yeah.
You know, provided that you maintain being funny and not just mentioning them for the sake of mentioning them.
Yeah. Sorry, what was the question? We kind of went off topic.
No, we didn't go off topic. We
what got me into comedy? I said
no. What do you hope to achieve?
I'm not really. I'm just. It's for me.
You answered that. It's about confidence.
Yeah, and community. It's a good community, Sander. I didn't realize they're a very strong community. So it's a very close community. They all know each other, especially here in Adelaide. But yeah, it's more of a getting part of a community, building your confidence.
Now, who was the first person you told when you said, I want to get into comedy?
Like stand-up comedy or comedy in general?
No. Before you started doing stand-up comedy, before you made that decision to want to be a comic, did you make an announcement?
No, I was told to go into comedies.
Really?
Yeah, I was actually at school. I was before, what's his name? It would come to me. But Mr. Beast, right? I used to do Mr. Beast in high school. Right? I used to tell friends, the 50th person that says hello to me will win a free Coke. Something like that.
Do you know 50 people? Okay.
At school, I'm saying at school. So everyone would find out that they would talk about it and then everyone's like, hello. I made friends. People knew who I was. Yeah. And all it sacrificed was back then, $2, $20 bottle of Coke.
Yeah.
People are like, you're natural in that kind of aspect of comedy. So I did a lot more skits. Stand-up is it's getting out of my comfort zone a bit more.
Yeah.
But my comedy is more skits, more that kind of raw, kind of going with the flow kind of aspect. Yeah.
Cool. I don't know why, but I just pictured a scenario where you're at the dinner table with your parents and you're going to say, Mum, Dad, there's something I've got to tell you. Oh, shit, it's coming out. Yeah, I want to do comedy.
Well, that's actually part of my stand-up tomorrow.
Oh, no.
You've got a bit of a spoiler, but don't watch it, actually. Your videos, this is coming out after. But that's all right.
Oh, no. Okay, no, I will scratch that. Okay, do you remember the very first joke that you ever wrote?
Nah. I can't remember. That would be 25 years ago.
Okay, what was the very first joke you told at your stand-up?
It was the one I did at Christie's.
Yeah.
Was in relation to the whole new. I like to talk about things relevant. Like my jokes is about things a bit political, right? Yeah. I like to be political. What's current? What's relevant of today? Some people like to talk about themselves and joke about who they are and what they kind of do. I just like to be a bit more political and talk about what's happening in the world. And that was in relation to the whole social media ban for teenagers. And then I went on to the whole, I think, controversial or conspiracy theory of airplane mode on planes, which I don't think is so. Yeah, that was.
It is kind of a light political subject.
Yeah.
You didn't hit heavy.
No. Well, I can't really hit heavy at where I am, but I like to talk about things current and relevant, like
current affairs, things that
current
are going
affairs,
on today,
political,
like the banning of social media for under 16-year-olds.
Yeah, and try and do something like that, something more current. So my comedy is very. I like to be current, raw, current, not about myself. I've got a boring life. So, but...
well, since you've only done one show, one set...
That's why I told you that night. I said, you need to have me on your show because if I'm a big star, you could say, 10 years ago, I interviewed that guy.
Well, I already said that about Hiral Desai, when she came here, because she's a newbie. She's only been doing it for 3 to 6 months when she came in here. And
I've seen her perform. I can talk about her if you want. But
no, dude, you can talk about whoever you like or whatever you like. I'm not here to force things out of you.
She's excellent. Yeah.
And I saw her at the Christie's. She would, and she, she was okay. She was good. I mean, she wasn't bad. And she won the heat, which is great.
Yeah, she does her homework. You can tell she's someone who does her homework. She practices.
Well, you know why? Because people of Indian descent get their shit done.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, they are fully committed to whatever it is.
That's right. They're very structured. You can tell.
And she's a very structured person that probably went perfectly well with that very structured show.
And her heat was
a structured performance.
I picked she was going to win that heat because that's what she was. She was structured. She was within the time zone. She hit everything quite well. You could tell that she really put a lot of effort and for a very
And
short person.
And timing and time. I don't know. Size doesn't matter because you got your thin comedians and you got your fat ones like Chris Farley. And
well, I'm short as well, man.
So it doesn't really matter if you're funny. You're funny.
Yeah.
No matter,
she was
no matter
good.
size, gender, race, or sexual
I'm glad she made the
orientation.
final. She was really good.
You know. Well, yeah. No. Well, let's just see what happens after the next two heats and who gets, because they have to compete with each other.
That's right. And then they got the wild cards.
Yeah. And they have to compete with each other. And the thing is, I think they have to do the same routine.
Yeah.
Each time, which I find that like what's the word that I want to look for? Like not repetitive. It is repetitive, but I feel like, okay, you won this stage.
Yeah.
Show me what else you can do. Like, you know,
that's right. Like, how much are you talented? Is this just something that you can just
like when you're watching Australian Idol or whatever? They don't sing the same song each time.
Correct.
They're doing a different track so they can show a different side, to
different tone of voice, different range,
exactly
different
right.
area
And that's
aspect.
what I think that should be counted as who is the best.
Yeah, that's right.
So to do the same thing each time. Okay, it worked with this crowd. That means it has to work with that crowd, which means it's definitely going to work with that crowd.
That's right.
You know, and that is not how it really goes.
No, you could have an excellent set, but if you go again, if you're told, you need to do another set in a week, they'll probably struggle with that. Yeah. But with raw comedy, also there's a condition with raw comedy is you can't have made more than $750 as a comedian.
Okay.
That is a condition in there. They're very, I don't know how they got that number. Not 800, not 700, but you can't make more than $750.
Annually? Or
no,
weekly?
I think So they really want raw, fresh talent.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
That's I like that because it gives nobody the chance.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, and I think that's very important. But even with nobodies, you know, they have to know what they're in for. They have to know what the competition is.
Yeah.
You know, and it's always good to be fresh. I mean, like when I was hosting comedy in Bahrain, because I was doing some comedy, then they hired me to be the host, and I would host on a weekly basis. And I said, guys, let's do it monthly. Every week it's hard. For 3 straight months, every week for 3 straight months, I came up with different material every week for 3 months. Yeah,
I've changed my material probably 6 times in the last week to do tomorrow.
I kept some of the relevant ones, but I changed it and tuned it up to make it fresh every week. Yeah, and it was exhausting because the minute that the night that show was over, that very night or the next morning, I'm writing material.
And that's the same with me. Like, I like things relevant. What's going on in the world, you know, this week, you know, and I tried to grab that and kind of work around that. So there will be current things that I'm doing tomorrow that's happened in the last 2 weeks in the world, and I'll kind of add that into my talent because I find I don't want to be repetitive. I don't want to just say like it gets. But I've gone to a few stand-ups, and you know I've seen the same person perform in different venues 4 times, 5 times, and 90% of it's the same.
Yeah, but if you're performing a different venue with different crowds, it's fine.
But I'm not the different crowd.
No, you maybe not. So you're there for support, mainly.
Yeah, that's right.
But that's very common. Everybody does that. Yeah. You know, I mean, I know comedians who have been doing this for decades, and when they come and do shows, they still tell the same joke they told 20 years ago, but they upgrade it a little bit. Yeah. You know, they tune it up a little bit, but the motif is still there. Yeah. You know, so which is fine because there are so many people who still haven't heard those jokes yet. Yeah. Even after 20 years, there are certain people that haven't heard those jokes yet. But ones that follow them, they're like, yeah, I've heard that one before. You know,
yeah, and there's some people I've heard that because usually it's 10 minutes is the usual, right? You got 10 minutes. And I've heard some of them that done 10 minutes and they've done really well, in your words, killed it, right? But I've seen them perform in Raw, which is only 5 minutes. And somewhat they struggle to kind of mold that 10 minutes that they've had that they can really do into that 5 minutes. Because 5 minutes is very hard to put in.
I find 5 minutes a bit too short. 7 minutes, I think, is the perfect lineup, the perfect timing. Because 7 minutes is the average. Yeah. When I was introduced to a show, they told everybody, you guys got between 5 and 7. Yeah. 7.5 is the cutoff time, so don't go over. But I never went over 7. 7 is my time. And when I was hosting, it was different because you got when you got the main event. I do one at the beginning as an intro. Then I got my big show, my big final at the end, which is anytime I want. Yeah. But I will keep it no more than 10 to 15. You know, so I'll try to stay under that. Okay, so when you finally did have the courage to get on stage and do your thing, did it hit you and make you realize that stand-up is a lot harder than it looks?
It wasn't really courage. I already had courage. It was more just motivation to actually do it.
Yeah.
It's you don't really hear much about stand-up. I didn't even know there was all these stand-up acts going on in Adelaide. Like I didn't know about Chaos at Christie's. I didn't know about, Rhino Room. I heard of Rhino Room. And then, so it was more just getting up there, but it is definitely harder, especially if you're told you've only got, like Christie's, Chaos at Christie's, you only had 3 minutes, right?
Yeah.
That's even shorter.
That's because that was
for the newbies.
No, it wasn't that. The rule is whoever's name gets picked.
Yeah, that's right. They only get 3 minutes. Yeah,
which is fine, I guess.
Yeah. So, but I find, I don't know. I find the more I do it, the more time I can work with that.
But in terms of the art itself, did you find that it was not as easy as you thought it would be?
Correct. And I find, like, reflecting back, because I like to reflect, right, on that it's not just, I thought, I'll go with it. I like to talk about something that's currently relevant, but you also got to kind of suss out your crowd as well. Like, you got to really relate to the crowd and who your audience is.
Yeah.
And I find that was the biggest thing, like, then was, at Christie's, it was a lot of baby boomers, over 60, 70. And if you're talking about what I was talking about in relation to social media bans, 16-year-olds, they might not relate to it. So, I found one of the things was I got to really know who my audience is and relate to my audience.
Yeah. I know it's a good thing that I filmed your show, your set. This way you can always
look back on it.
You can always watch and learn from it. When I was watching, I saw you live as I was recording it, and then I saw you again while I was editing it. And you definitely strike me as one of the comedians that you like to tell a story.
Yeah.
Which is fine because, people are waiting for that punchline towards the end. I don't like to give advice or criticism, and I'm not going to give a big advice or criticism. But if I am to say anything to somebody who's fresh, who's new to the game, try to get the audience captivated in the first 10 to 15 seconds.
Yeah, that's right.
If you can,
I agree.
If you can make them laugh immediately in that first 10, 15 seconds they're on stage, then you've got their attention.
You've pulled them in. You've hooked them in.
You know what I mean? Like if you just start telling a story, it just sounds like a lecture, and people start to lose interest.
Yeah.
And the last thing you want to hear is people conversing while you're on stage.
Correct. And especially if you've only got 3 minutes. You don't have that time to tell a story, really. So, you should be just punchline after punchline after punchline.
Especially, exactly right. I think that once you've established once you have found your style that you're comfortable with that works, then you'll have more flexibility to branch out, do other things, because people are there to see you now. So they want to hear what you got to say next. And they will wait. Yeah. Even if it's like a long story, but as long as there's that big punchline at the end, they will wait for it.
That's right.
If you're as a first timer and they don't know who you are, they haven't seen you, they're not going to have that patience for you. Yeah.
And I have to somehow transfer from sketch comedy that I'm so used to stand up, which is a whole total different genre. Yeah. With that, because you can rehearse with sketch or possibly, the script before, but sometimes you just, it's and also managing the time. So I think I was like a minute over or something with that one. So it's an art. It is an art.
No, it is fine. With sketch comedy, it is a little different but then again, I think the same method applies. You need to hook them in immediately.
Correct.
You need to make them laugh in the first 30 seconds that your sketch is on.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes like when I do my sketch, the first 30 seconds, some of my sketches, the first 30, 45 seconds of the sketch is not funny because I'm doing the setup. And I want people to understand what the setup is before I drop the bomb.
Yeah.
And this particular sketch that I got going on is like that. But I got another sketch where it's funny from the get-go.
Yeah.
As soon as the sketch starts, something's happening and it's going to happen. It's going to be funny. Let's see how far it's going to take it. So they're already there. So you got your different types of sketches, So like the game show sketch that I did.
I saw that one.
Yeah. But I started it in a high note because the intro... You know what I mean? I put the intro like the game show theme.
Yeah.
And I hit it with the host's name. So people were already hooked from that host's name.
Yeah. Can I give a bit of feedback on that one?
You can.
I would have switched the roles around. I would have made I would have made probably Ali the host.
Yeah, but what name could I have given her?
Oh, what? It's just a role. And you and Paul as the contestants because being the whole thing was about America, right? And not winning tickets. And if you've got a black guy and an Arab guy, trying to avoid each other, not wanting to go to America, who are probably the two biggest standouts.
Yeah.
That's why I would, with that, not that you didn't, it was good. Like, it was funny. I like the other one you did as well, the dating one. How you met that girl online, the one who's allergic to cheese.
That's the girlfriend experience.
Yeah, the girlfriend experience.
Yeah, like you get that kind of thing. But the reason why I wanted a black host is because I wanted him to go gangster on the contestant.
Yeah.
And he did.
Yeah,
and to have a male and a female will also be like a battle of the sexes.
Yeah.
So I wanted to. That's why I did it that way. Actually, the host was supposed to be originally with Philip de Bondi.
Oh, really?
Phil de Bondi. We had a reading.
Heat 3 winner? No, Heat 2 winner.
Yeah, I think so. He rehearsed. We had a reading, online reading, and Phil de Bondi was playing the role of the host. But because of schedule conflicts, he wasn't available at certain times. Yeah. And I really wanted to get the sketch done by a particular time.
Yeah.
I had to find a different actor.
Yeah.
I thought of Kayleigh first. I don't know if you met Kayleigh.
No, I haven't.
And he wasn't. He liked it, but he said. He wanted to keep things PG, and this sketch was not PG. So when I told Mo about it, Mo laughed, and he actually helped me inspire the character's name. But he was out of town, so at the end it landed on Paul the Black.
Yeah.
And
who's now left you and gone to Melbourne.
Now he's gone. But God bless him. He was a good sport. He did a very good job. And I had more sketches written because for some reason when I was in Bahrain, I had access to friends at the American Navy base.
Yeah,
and many of them were black. And when my very first sketch that I wrote, the original title was supposed to be naming the team, but I changed it for clickbait and called it "I swear I'm not a racist."
Yeah.
Because I want people to be like, "Oh, let me be the judge of that," and that'll encourage them to click on. And it was all about stereotypes of black people, and it killed. It did really, really well. And that was my very first sketch that I wrote, and it was very, very funny. And the black guy who I met prior to making that sketch, we had a reading. When he read it, he said, "I'm in."
Yeah,
I'm in. When I told him the story, he said, "I'm in." When he read the sketch, I am doubly in.
Yeah.
So he was bam and on board, and that's what I lack here.
Yeah.
People don't read it and say, "I'm in." People read it and say, "I don't know."
Yeah.
And I don't want that. I want people to be courageous. There's nothing here that's actually going to offend anybody out there.
Yeah.
It's not that type of comedy.
Yeah.
And hopefully I will find my black actors and all types of actors. I'm looking for all types.
Yeah, I know, but they're the ones you specifically want right now.
Right now. Now for this particular.
So is there anyone out there that knows any?
For this particular sketch, I need 2 black guys, and I need. I got a Mexican friend. He's playing the Latino. I got Tom, who wants to play the Jewish character, and I need a white female who's offended on the behalf of all those people.
Yeah,
those people are not offended. Just the white chick is offended.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it funny, because my biggest pet peeve is when white people want to be offended on behalf of non-white people. Like you haven't walked in our shoes. You can't get offended. If we're not offended, you don't have the right to be.
Sometimes they've got nothing else to do with their lives. They join in.
I want to call those particular people out, and this sketch that I'm trying to put together does just that.
Oh, that's good. That's good on you. It'll be exciting to finally see.
Once they get it done, it'll be amazing. Now, for this roar that you're going to be a part of, have you written your jokes, or are you just going to get on stage and wing it?
50-50 really. Yeah. I would say I wrote it probably a week ago, 2 weeks ago, but I've probably changed it 4 times. So I would say I've got a bit of a template to work from, but I'll improvise and wing it. I want to try and be as raw as possible. I don't want to go by a script. I like to, I've got my somewhat script, my dot points, and then I'll go by that, and I'll just time myself. And if I'm running out of time, and then I'll drop that and go from there. So
I hope this doesn't put a bump into what you're planning to do, but I would refrain from trying to do any audience participation.
Oh, no, definitely not. You don't have time. You won't have time for that.
Because even some people in Raw, they'll ask a question and try to feed off that.
Yeah. Thanks for that tip, though.
No. It's fine, but just not when you're in a competition.
No, not. Yeah.
I don't think it'll be the wisest thing to do. Now, so what have you learned so far now that you've entered the field of stand-up?
I think what I've learned, the maybe 3 or 4 main things are, number one, you got to use your time well with that, and what your actual lineup is. Timing is key. You don't want to, and when I'm saying timing, it's also your delivery. You don't want to rush it. Sometimes I feel like when I was watching over what I did at Christie's, I kind of rushed it. I didn't breathe. I didn't stop.
Well, you've got 3 minutes.
Yeah, I know,
so
but I'm feeling like you've
yeah.
got that. You need, if you've got a punchline, let the crowd soak that in and then move on. But I find timings well, like I said earlier, your audience. I think whoever your audience is, I think somewhat like if you've got jokes specifically that are different from your audience, then I would probably change from that and reflect. I think just reflecting over what you did, listening over yourself. So maybe I'll do that a bit differently. So a lot of it's kind of like I find that reflection is really key and learning how you could do things different and getting feedback from people.
Oh yeah, that always works. Now, did you go out of your way to make sure that your performance is going to be PG-13?
Yes, 100%.
So everybody,
100%. You got to. I think I could tell like the other heats. Like I said, I got to know my competition as such, right?
Yeah.
So I've watched other heats, and I know those guys that were laughing, like they were good jokes, they did well, but they weren't PG. And I question. I'm like, well, I know why you didn't make the final. Your jokes were funny. You probably had the most laughs, but it wasn't as PG. So yeah, I'm trying to minimize as much controversial kind of content.
So without the drugging, a lot of people are going all Bill Cosby on stage.
Oh, really?
Without cursing.
Okay, yeah.
Cosby's famous for doing stand-up without ever having cursed once.
He's also famous for other things, but
yeah. But that's why I said that. That's why I mentioned the drugging thing at the beginning.
I think the ones that I've won it are very limited in their cursing.
Yeah.
But like I said, you could tell the ones that won it were very structured, had their routine, didn't get too controversial, and had a bit of crowd reaction. You can tell they're and stuck within the time. I think that's a big killer.
Do you ever hold a comb in your room, pretend that it's a mic, and you practice it over and over again?
Once I did the comb, but I've actually got a microphone at home. But yeah, I don't know. I find it a bit challenging, like with that, but I like to record myself and then listen to myself.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I actually record, like if I have my dot pointer script, I record it. I know it's 5 minutes. And
do you put a timer as well?
Yeah, done all that. You got to. I think that's a big thing. If you can stick with that,
I do that actually.
And then you just I put it in the car, Bluetooth it, listen to myself. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll change that bit. Or sometimes you get inspiration from your own self by listening to yourself and be like, oh, that would actually, it's good. So sometimes listening to yourself really helps with that reflection.
I think it does as well. I mean, I think voice is very important. Tone, delivery, enunciation.
Yeah,
I think is very important because a lot of people when they get on stage, sometimes they, I don't know if it's about nerves or whatever. Sometimes they stutter through it, or they repeat themselves a couple of times before they get to it because they have that energy, that nervous energy. So
you know who was one of my favorites going into it? Mo Dang.
Yeah,
I've seen him perform. I actually saw him live, but they stuffed him up. They screwed him over.
He was in the Raw?
Yeah, he was in the Raw.
And he didn't win?
No, he didn't make the heat.
Or the wild card?
They haven't done the wild cards yet. They're waiting for all the heats to be over.
Okay.
But basically what happened was they flashed him early, accidentally. They put the red light. And I think that kind of threw him off a bit. I'm like, you got shafted a bit there. Like, you could tell he's like, what? Like, he's kind of like the red light already. He's probably only like a minute or two in.
Oh, wow.
And I felt you can't do that to someone, like, throw them off like that.
If it was accidental, fine. But if it was deliberate.
Well, I don't know. We don't know. I don't think it was deliberate.
No.
But the guy who was monitoring the lights was like.
I would doubt
it wasn't deliberate. But he was like, sorry, that's my fault.
That would throw anybody
and
off.
I think he was kind of thrown off from that, in a way. So.
That's surprising because Mo is funny on stage.
I like Mo.
I think
he's in my.
Did he do the same thing he did at Christie's?
A little bit, yeah, he did. I said to him after, I said, there was that really good part that I liked at Christie's, and he pulled that out, and he goes, yeah, I know, I was thinking about that. He was I think he was just a bit nervous or a bit just, he was thrown off a bit, I think. So, but
I think that
he was one of my favorites in that heat. He was probably my favorite.
And you
felt
like he got robbed.
in a way, like you don't turn someone's light on too accidentally.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you think he got robbed because of that incident, or
I think it threw him off. I did think it threw him off a bit, but I think he kind of structured it. Sorry, Mo, I love you, man.
No. We're not bad mouthing anybody.
No,
here.
like I said, if I had a Mount Rushmore,
We're gonna get to that later. Mount Rushmore of
Adelaide,
community comedians
in Adelaide, I'll give you my 4.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk about that later. Don't get ahead of the podcast.
Well, yeah.
Now, has comedy ruined normal conversation for you yet?
I think people already knew my comedy before that, so it wasn't anything different. It's just I have to make sure I put more of a filter on now with certain people. Like everyone knows my kind of delivery. I'm comedy outside of comedy. Yeah. Sometimes I push the boundaries. I shouldn't say things that I should. People say I don't have a filter. So it's kind of, I wouldn't say it affected it that way. It's kind of like, I find it a bit more accepting now.
Yeah, well, I find myself whenever I'm interacting with people like at a party or something like that and I'm meeting people for the first time, I try out material on them. Like I'm not doing a stand-up for them. I'm just cracking jokes. And whichever one lands, I'm keeping a mental note. Okay, let's see how far I can go with that.
I'm never serious. I crack all the time. It's.
All right, so where do you hopefully want to see yourself like 5 years from now?
Wow, you haven't asked this question before.
No.
This is the new one.
I like to keep things different from time to time. Because I myself, I don't want to be too repetitive on stage and I don't want to be too repetitive here. Everybody gets different in terms of their personality. So you are new to the comedy game. I've had comedians who've been doing this for 10 years. Yeah. And, they haven't gone as far as they wished or maybe they haven't gone at all. Yeah. But at least they made a name for themselves. Within the,
where do I see myself in 5 years?
In comedy.
In comedy. I've never actually reflected on it or thought about that, to be honest. I really go with the flow. I just do it because it's something that's naturally in me.
So you don't have it like a personal goal that you want to achieve?
Nah. I'm always, that's even my career, in my personal life. I'm someone that just goes with the flow. I don't really think, in 5 years, I see myself like this. I just go with how things will go. I'm not someone that seeks jobs. If someone, with my personal work, if someone approaches me and says, can you do that job, then I'll do it. So, sorry.
No, I think that's a very healthy attitude because you're not setting the bar high or low,
But I'll take every opportunity.
Yeah. And I think that might even hurt some people when they have that goal. I want to be able to achieve this by this time, and when that time comes and I didn't get anywhere near it, it kind of ruins their self-esteem and whatever, and they feel like they want to quit because they didn't get there on time and so forth. But okay. Well, David.
Ben's fine.
Okay, Ben fold 5. Now we are entering the existential part of the podcast
already. Jeez.
Yeah. All right. So here's the question I asked last week. Okay, what do you think happens when you die?
What do I think happens? I think there's life after death.
Is this from a religious point of view or your own point of view? To take religion out of the equation, what do you feel happens?
I think if you want to take religion out of it, okay.
I've heard many people who have a religion that will tell us what happens based on what they have learned in their religion.
Yeah.
I'm asking you as an individual.
I think there's life after. I don't think there is. This is it. I think this is all kind of a test, a trial. I think there's something after death, heaven, hell, whatever it is, that you'll be based on your beliefs or your actions and all that kind of aspect with that. So I don't believe we're in a matrix or anything like that. That's okay. But yeah.
Now, is making people laugh your way of proving that you exist?
No, it's about making myself laugh. I'm selfish.
I
don't care. I don't really care if you laugh or not. Yeah. But if that makes me happy, you know what? Deal with it, people. Because look, humor is a feeling. Like I don't think any other animal or being has a sense of humor or intentionally makes other beings or animals laugh. So I think it is part of what makes us unique as humans is laughter. But if you don't laugh, well, as long as it makes me happy in a way and doesn't hurt you, then I'm fine with that.
Okay. That's a healthy answer. Now, does comedy help you understand yourself or hide from yourself?
I think it helps me understand myself pretty well. I probably am more comedy than on the comedy stage. Yeah. I think it's just naturally. Sometimes it's just in your blood. It's in your genes. It's in your DNA. Like I'm comedy more. Yeah. So I think it really brings out a sense of me outside the box. I probably have to pull myself a bit pull myself in. You know, if I'm at job, I'm too comedy, or I'm too push the boundaries, or I'm too not a filter. So, but. I think you need a laugh.
Okay, cool. Now, here's a hypothetical question. You are in a deserted island. You can only take one comedy movie, one comedy album, and one music discography. I'm not going to make it cruel.
What's a music
pick one music album. You can pick any artist you want and their entire discography. And this way you won't be bored with the same 11 songs they have in their album.
Yeah.
I want to make it more, otherwise people go insane. I think they should have a discography. So what would be your number one movie? Doesn't have to be a comedy, but your number one movie.
My number one movie, well, I've actually ranked my top 20 movies of all time. But if I had one movie that I could watch over and over again, it would be probably Ace Ventura.
Okay.
I think I could watch that over and over again. I can quote that movie. I didn't even have to watch it.
We did in high school. We ruined the tape. And we had to make another copy, and we ruined that tape too with the amount of time that we watched it. Yes, we had tapes before we had DVDs. Okay.
What was the other point?
What comedy album?
Probably a comedy album. Anything David Chappelle, really.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. And finally, which discography would you want from which artist or band?
Oh, man. I'll go with my roots. Not that I listen to them currently or have been, but I guess part of the era I was growing up with is MJ.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Well, you can't go wrong because if you want his discography, that would also include his time with the Jackson 5.
Yeah.
So you will have a good 3-4 straight days of his music.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And you can dance to it while you're on the desert island. You don't just listen to it. It's music you can dance to and exercise to.
You can. Okay, now we can enter the Mount Rushmore of comedy. You know what? Since you mentioned the local talent, I'll give you 2 Mount Rushmore options, okay? Who are your favorite comedians on a worldwide basis?
Yeah.
And then you can mention the 4 comedians that you know maybe in Australia.
Okay. So my Mount Rushmore is, I wouldn't say they're the best comedians, but they're the ones that I grew up with or had the most impact with me or I witnessed a lot. So I grew up in the 90s, right? So I would say my Mount Rushmore of comedians, because that's 4, would be Rowan Atkinson.
Yeah.
He came out in the late 80s, early 90s with Mr. Bean. Like that's ideal was when I was growing up, right? Mm-hmm. And as you know, because you're around the same generation as me, we didn't have streaming.
No,
we only had a choice of watching 4 channels, and he was on one of those channels, and I was growing up with him. It was just, I find his skits good, and he's a comedian that, especially with Mr. Bean, you don't have to know English. He can be any language and watch him and find humour.
It's like he brought back silent movies.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's kind of the Charlie Chaplin, of the 90s in a way with that. So, and then I went back and watched like Blackadder and all that. Good. And Blackadder was good and all that, and he was so young. So, Rowan Atkinson for me, you can relate to Mr. Bean in that kind of aspect. And he wasn't jokey. As you know, Mr. Bean doesn't talk much. It's very skits. It's very that day-to-day kind of thing. So Rowan Atkinson, number 1. Number 2 would probably be in movies. So 90s would be Jim Carrey. As you know, he produced so many movies in the mid to late 90s. Lila, Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber, Me, Myself, Irene. Like just so many. The Mask. So, and again, you go to back in our day. You go to the local Blockbuster and get a VHS, and you watch Jim Carrey. And everyone used to talk about it. We used to quote the Jim Carrey. There was a lot of great lines in his movies. Yeah. So I think as a young person, mid-90s, late 90s, Jim Carrey was a big influence with that. So, and I love his movies. I think he's got some great movies.
2 more?
2 more would probably be stand-up, would probably be David Chappelle.
Obviously. And I do say obviously because I think he's the best past, present and future.
Yeah, not just because his name's David, but no. I think all Davids are great, in a way, but I first watched David Chappelle was in Robin Hood Men in Tights. Yep. He was in that movie, right? He was quite young, early 20s. And I didn't really know much about him, but I found his character funny. And then that kind of led me to watching his stand-up and everything. And what I like about David was he's just got no filter. No, he just says what it is. He pushes the boundaries and all that. He's fearless, yeah. So David Chappelle be number 3. And number 4, I'll go with an Australian, will be Chris Lilly, right? We can be heroes, that kind of aspect. He really, he really pushed the boundaries on Australian television with that. And I've just found, he would, even though he was probably 20s, he would pretend he was a teenage girl, or he played a Chinese guy who was playing an Aboriginal guy. So I just found Chris Lilly's kind of humour as an Australian, probably my famous Australian comedian.
Well, you're right about there are always good Daves. The only Dave that I dislike is the star.
Oh,
all right. Now, were you ever familiar with Jim Carrey in Living Color?
No, I never really watched much of his stand-up.
No.
Oh,
in Living Color,
is that a movie?
In Living Color was a sketch show.
No,
it went on for I think 5 or 6 seasons.
No.
Created by the Wayans brothers, Keenan Ivory Wayans.
Oh, okay.
And many of Jim Carrey had auditioned for SNL and didn't get casted.
Oh wow!
And Damon Wayans was friends with Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
And when his brother Keenan was putting together a sketch show, he was casting, and Damon said to his brother, "You got to get Jim." Well, he was known as James at the time.
Yeah, that's his biological name. Yeah.
You got to get Jim. And he goes, the guy that did the joke about the nuclear bomb and taking somebody's face off. He goes, yeah. That guy's crazy. We need crazy.
Yeah, we need crazy.
Okay, and that's how they casted him.
Yeah.
So, and Jim Carrey was phenomenal. I mean, the reason why Jim Carrey got Ace Ventura and The Mask and Dumb and Dumber was because of his work in Living Color.
Yeah.
So if anyone here who hasn't seen or heard of the show, download it. You can, if you got the Pirate Bay, download it. You will not be disappointed.
Pirate Bay, isn't that the one with the Trojan viruses and all that? Isn't that where you get all the viruses? Pirate Bay?
I have no idea.
Trojan viruses and all that.
I don't know, but that's
YouTube it. I'm sure.
You can YouTube it.
Yeah, sure
some of them have the episodes, but if you want to watch the whole series,
from
beginning to the end, I recommend you download it. It is one of the greatest things ever. Now, quick answers. You don't have to give me a story about each one of them. If you had your Mount Rushmore of our Adelaide comedians.
Okay. I would do Hurrah.
Yes.
I would do Mo. I would do Sophie Nazar.
Yep.
And I would do Josh Warrior.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You didn't choose me because you haven't seen me in action yet. All right, cool.
Well, I've seen your videos. I haven't seen you live, but I have watched,
All right. That's okay. It's all good now. It's all right. I'm not that vain. All right. Now, wrong answers only, Ben. All right, I'm going to ask you 4 questions, and I want you to give me the wrong answer as creative as you can. Okay? Who played Don Corleone in The Godfather?
Don Corleone, okay. I would say... That's a tricky one. I know who it was, but I would say Dustin Hoffman.
Okay. Not the most creative answer, but okay. How did Hitler really die?
He's not dead. I think he went to Argentina. I think he
I've heard that rumor, but that's still a conspiracy theory. Right? But
I believe that. I don't think he really died. I think he faked his death and if he died of old age.
Okay, well, all right, fine. I would have said something like, I don't know, sexual asphyxiation. But okay. Why do they call it coming out of the closet?
I don't. Coming out of the closet. I think they call it coming out of the closet because the closet is ideally where no one goes. Like I find like who wants to go in the closet? No one wants to go in their closet. And a lot of today we don't have closets. We've got walk-in wardrobes.
Okay. So should they change it to I came out of the wardrobe?
Yeah. Now they have to change it. They have to modernize it. It should be I came out of the walk-in wardrobe from the ensuite to the walk-in wardrobe to the bedroom.
With a new ensemble.
Yeah.
Okay. How does one catch an STD?
How does one catch an STD? Man, what are these questions?
I want wrong answers only.
I know, but
I came up with these questions, by the way.
Oh, I can tell. I can tell that you came up with these questions. Don't worry about me. How to catch an STD? Geez. I could think of more reasonable way, but you want a more creative way.
The reason why I came up with this whole, why I adopted this wrong answers only question, I think it's catnip for comedians to be creative and to see if they can be funny from these particular questions.
Yeah. I don't know if you can. Maybe you can, but maybe on the toilet seat.
Okay, there you go.
Can you get it on the toilet? Just sitting on the toilet seat?
Maybe. Maybe you can get crabs that way. I don't know. Maybe. I would have said, by sharpening a pencil. Something like that. I don't know. Just whatever. So Ben, based on this podcast so far, what would you like the audience to take from this episode that you're in?
I'd like to let the audience take in the fact is just step out of your comfort zone, do something risky with that, meet people, socialize, live today as it's the last day really with it.
Okay, now, you know that I always like to finish my podcast with the 10 questions, but you said you have 10 questions for me.
Yeah, I do. These are my 10 questions.
Do you want me to go first or do you want to go first?
You can go. Okay. You want to go first? All right. Because I know what your 10 questions are.
Okay. So I have no idea what's coming.
All right, I've got them on my phone. Is that all right?
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
All
right, here we go. So again, I like to always mention Mr. James Lipton, who constructed these 10 questions, being inspired by his hero, Bernard Pivot. Now, what is your favorite word?
Moist. I think it's a word you can use in a lot of contexts.
Okay. This podcast is very moist. What is your least favorite word?
Magic.
Hey, it's the magic hour.
I know, that's why I said.
Hey.
We could sing the tune song, Magic. Magic.
Is that turning you
magic,
off now?
The magic hour.
Yeah, okay, fine. Now I have to think about changing that. Nah. Okay. What turns you on?
What turns me on? Baby oil.
Okay, P. Diddy. That's a P. Diddy answer.
Is it?
What turns you off?
What turns me off is, I guess when how do you say it? When the collars and the cuffs don't match.
Okay, cool. Because I was afraid you were going to say magic again.
No.
What sound of noise do you love?
Is this PG or is this R-rated?
Dude, it's whatever. What sound of noise do you love regardless of what category or rating?
A certain individual moaning when they're climaxing.
Fine.
It's very unique. You don't get that experience anywhere else.
It feels very gratifying.
It does. Especially if it's the third one.
Yeah, okay. What sound of noise do you hate?
Ooh, I really don't like the sound of my mother-in-law, but yeah.
Mother-in-law? You're married?
Well, kind of.
Oh, okay. Future mother-in-law, okay.
Future mother-in-law.
Okay. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
I've got two. Is that right? Two? I'll do one or two. I'll probably say I'm really interested in women's health. Mm-hmm. And really like women's health, so maybe a gynecologist.
Okay. So is the other one a proctologist? Okay, I'm just saying. You want to help? I think with proctology, you can help both men and women. All right. What profession would you not like to do?
I would hate to be a Santa Claus at a shopping mall. You know those people that dress up as Santa Claus in a shopping mall? I just couldn't see myself dressing up as a fat man with a beard, having kids sit on my lap, and then like, what do you want for Christmas? And they'll be like, I want a train set. And I'm hopeful that those parents get them the train set because next year they might come back, kick me in the shin and say, you didn't give me that train set.
So the answer is he wants to avoid making children happy.
Yeah.
All right. And finally, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive?
You've got the swear word.
Did I? Well, but you
mate, do I have to do your podcast for you?
I forgot. What is your favorite first word?
Yeah. Jeez, I have to be the host. Next week, I'll be hosting the Magic Hour.
I did forget that one, yeah.
I'm going to say it's putana.
Bitch.
Or female pig on heat. So yeah, it's got a bit of a.
Okay. Well, that's not what he wants to hear God say to him. So we can go to that one now.
Are you sure you've done all 10?
Yeah. I didn't skip. I only skipped one.
What would God say to me at the pearly gates? That's the one. I think it would be like going to Comic-Con. Have you ever been to Comic-Con?
I've filmed one.
Oh, did you? Really?
Yeah.
I think it'll be like that. I just think there'll be a massive line and you've really just got the 2 seconds to take the photo with God, the point, and then move on. How you doing? Good. I think it'll just be like a rotating door. So I don't think God will have much time to say anything to you, or you say anything to the guy. I think it'll just be like there'll be so many people just rotating through. It'll be the good photo, and then you're in.
Well, there you have it. Okay, Ben, give me your 10 questions.
All right, these are my 10 questions. First question: if you could be one animal, what would it be?
A camel, because I'm in it for the long haul.
Oh, because I thought you were Arab.
No. No, maybe I should have changed that because that's so stereotypical.
Now you've stereotyped yourself.
Yeah, that is a stereotypical thing. But, okay, you know what? My favorite animal as a kid growing up is a dolphin, so I'll choose dolphin. I'll change it to dolphin.
Do you know dolphins are the only animals that enjoy sex besides humans?
Well, there you go. That's probably why I chose
That's
them
why
as
you
my
chose
second.
it.
Yeah.
If you could be a ruler of a country, which one would it be?
Occupied Palestine.
Palestine.
Occupied Palestine. So I can take away the occupied and make it all Palestine.
Oh, okay. If you had a superhero power, what would it be?
Invisibility.
Yeah. Any particular reason?
Yeah, so I can knock off the people that need to be knocked off a long time ago.
Oh, okay. If you're a woman, because you're a male, I presume you identify as a male.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're a woman and you had one guy to sleep with, who would it be?
You know what? When in the 90s, my favorite actor of all time, and he still lives today, I got his picture on my wall with a signed autograph, was Al Pacino.
What era of Al Pacino are we talking about?
It didn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Because it wasn't just, it's not about just a physical appearance. It's just that the aura of this man, he had so much range in his acting. The guy can act with his eyes alone. If you gave him a part where he didn't have to speak, he can tell you the story with his eyes. And at school, because I also loved the movie True Romance that Tarantino wrote, and there was a scene in True Romance where Christian Slater's character is talking about, if I had to fuck a guy, it'll be Elvis.
Yeah.
All right. I once made the same kind of dialogue in school. Said if I had to fuck a guy, it'll be Al.
Yeah. Well, he's having kids at 78, 80. So.
Yeah. And with a Lebanese, no doubt.
Oh, it's really?
Yeah, her name is Nadine or Nadia, something like that.
Oh, there you go. That could be you in an alternate universe.
Maybe.
If you could choose any part of history to live outside of your current one, where would it be? Where would you live?
In terms of history, that's very similar to a question that I ask. Lebanon in the 50s.
Okay. Was it conservative back then? Or?
It was beautiful back then.
Yeah.
Before, or any time before 1947.
Okay. If you could live inside a movie, which movie would it be?
The Godfather.
The first one?
Doesn't matter.
I know it's one kind of storyline.
It doesn't matter. Like I have a set, the Godfather, the chronological version. It's 1 and 2 put together as one big.
Will you be part of the mob or you're a victim? What?
I don't care if I'm the fly on the wall.
If you could be a successful sports athlete, which one would it be?
Football. Who?
Yeah.
Who? Oh, okay. It's a coin flip between Rivaldo and Ronaldinho.
Oh, Brazilian. You like the Brazilian teams there?
Well, during the Joga Bonito, now they're just Joga Crap.
Yeah, during the 90s or late 90s. All right, this one, we'll see what you say about this one. If you could unalive someone in history, who would it be?
If I could unalive?
Yeah.
JFK.
JFK, you would do it yourself?
I would stop the bullet. If I could kill somebody.
Yeah.
I thought you meant bring him back to life.
No.
Sorry.
I was you want to take you're on the hill. You were the guy on the hill.
I love JFK. If I could, just say if I wanted to kill somebody in history, unalive. If I wanted to kill somebody in history, yeah, it would be Theodore Herzl, the guy who founded Zionism.
Oh, okay. Life after death, do you believe you'll go to heaven or hell if there was an option? And why?
Well, I believe that only the worst of the worst go to hell. And what I mean by that, I mean people who take enjoyment of molesting children and killing for fun I think these are the kind of people that deserve hell. People that have done wrong things in life, I don't think they necessarily deserve hell. Like if you've stolen or if you cheated people out.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying there won't be some form of punishment.
Yeah.
I'm sure there would be, but direct hell, I think that's reserved for the worst kinds of people, like the real worst.
Okay,
you know? So if there is a heaven, I don't see why somebody like me will not be able to enter.
All right, that's a good answer.
Yeah.
My next question is, if you could change something about tomorrow, what would you change?
For it to be hotter, because this summer sucks.
Really? You like hot weather?
I lived in the Gulf for almost 20 years. I like
There's a different heat, though.
But it's
Is
still
it?
heat. It's still heat. I love the sun. I love the extreme heat. Warmth is good, but I love heat.
Yeah.
Because even when you go for a walk outside, you feel like you're working out without even putting much energy. So yeah, but because we're in the summertime and it's very windy outside.
I think it's 40 this weekend or something, isn't it?
Well, I hope it is. So yeah, more heat, please. I prefer the heat.
Yeah. Can I ask you just two separate questions quickly? Who are your Mount Rushmore of LA comedians?
I've already answered that before, but I'll be quick with it. Dave Chappelle.
No, Adelaide.
Oh, in Adelaide.
Yeah, Adelaide. Your Adelaide talent, local talent.
Me times 4. No. Well, the thing is, I've seen a lot, but the guy that cracked me up a lot, and I was very impressed, would be Josh Biggs.
Yep.
I did not expect him to.
Have you had him on your show?
I've had him on my show. The reason why I had him on my show is because he cracked me up.
Yeah, yeah.
And Josh Biggs, definitely, he'll be there. Oh God, now I have to name 3 more. The thing is, I haven't. There hasn't been anybody that's cracked me up so far the way he has. Mo, I'll put Mo in because Mo's got flair. He's got charisma.
Yeah.
And his presence on stage is kind of electric.
Yeah.
And I like that in people. 2 more. God, can I put myself in the rating?
Sure.
I'll definitely put myself.
You're not
there.
a humble person. That's all right.
No. You want to hear a great story? In Halloween.
Yeah, you dress as yourself.
Freddie Mercury dressed as himself because he didn't want to be anybody else.
Yeah.
And what's wrong with that? I'm not saying I'm no Freddie Mercury, but what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
If you can. There are many people who hate themselves. I don't hate myself, but then again, I don't dislike myself.
Did you hear
either.
Charlie Chaplin entered the competition
and
he didn't win?
He came third.
A look-alike competition.
I got to choose one more. And I have to choose one more. So we got Josh, we got Mo, we got me. Damn. In Australia or just in our community?
I think in the community, Adelaide.
Okay. In Adelaide. Because if it's Australia, I can give you another answer. Oh God, come on, Majid, you got. What's her name? She's Lebanese. Vida? Oh God, Slayman, I think. Bloody hell, what's her name? She hosted a few shows before. She's a Lebanese woman.
If he knows who you're talking about, put it in the comments. Put it in the comments.
The name will be on the screen. I forgot your name, love, but I've met you before.
Add it to the comments on this video.
She hosted the Comedy Complex one time when I performed there, and she is funny. She told this amazing joke from the movie Sophie's Choice.
Yeah,
and I thought that was very original, very creative, and incredibly funny, and that stuck with me.
Yeah.
So yes, it will be her. I don't think she's ever seen one of my episodes, but I'm going to tag her in this one.
All right, tag her. We'll tag her. And just quickly, do you have a favourite for the Raw winner? Do you think there's someone that you think, have you been following her?
Well, I don't have a favourite because I haven't attended any of them.
Yeah.
I've been too busy to see. I like to go and show my support, but because I didn't even know that Mo was in it until you mentioned it.
Yeah.
So I don't really have a favourite. I'll have a favourite on the night. I'll do my own judging.
So you're planning to come to any heats?
Maybe next year.
No.
I don't think so.
Tomorrow night, are you free?
No, tomorrow is Saturday.
No, tomorrow's Friday. What are you on about?
No, tomorrow's Friday. Sorry, no, tomorrow's Friday. It's the final week before the next week of school. So no, actually, I have family who are here from overseas.
Oh, excellent.
So because they're here during that particular period, so that's why I've been so absent in attending many
okay.
functions, because I have family overseas that are here, and when they're here, they're only here for a short time. You're going to make the most
Excellent.
of it. Okay, so thank you, Ben.
No, thank
Now,
you, Majid.
You are going to hear something that nobody's heard yet before. When I started this podcast in June or July of 24, I put an announcement on Instagram saying I'm looking for guests.
Correct.
And one particular comedian in Australia who's very well known in Australia sent me a private message saying, when I'm in Adelaide, I'm going to be on your show. Now, I never mentioned this to anybody because it was just in passing. I don't know how committed he was, or...
Did you actually see him in person, or he
No, I've
messaged
met
you?
him in person before.
Oh, okay.
I saw his show. And yes,
No, when he told you that he wanted to be on the show.
No, he didn't tell me in person. But I did meet him in person. The name is coming up. I'm just trying
The suspense.
I'm building the suspense here.
And with batteries flat.
And a few weeks ago, he said to me, Majid, I got a show. I've got 3 shows in Adelaide. I'm coming. And I was hoping if you can promote my show on our episode.
Yeah.
And I said, I'll do you one better, because our episode is going to be like an hour long, and it's going to be aired after the show. So what we'll do is we'll film a few 10, 15-second snippets promoting the show on the Magic Hour. And he said, cool. And that person is George Kapaniaris, the guy who has played Agamemnon Hadjidimitropoulos in Acropolis Now.
Is he the bald guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he may be bringing with him a fellow comedian, because he's doing a show with this comedian named James Leota.
Okay.
And they have a show called live on stage called Nona and Yaya. It's a stand-up comedy and sketch show, which is going to be on Adelaide, the 20th of February, 2021 and 22.
Excellent. If you don't know what Nonna and Yaya means grandma in Italian Greek.
Yeah. So, George plays the Greek grandmother, and James plays the Italian grandmother. So if you want to see men dressed as grandmothers, I'm sure it's going to be a hoot. George is a very funny person. I don't know much about James Leota, but I am doing my
research.
My first question was, is he related to Ray Liotta? And no, he is not.
Did you say Star Wars Yoda?
Uh-huh.
Yoda from Star Wars, is that what you said?
No, Ray Liotta.
I thought you said from Star Wars, Yoda from Star Wars, Yoda.
From Goodfellas. So George Kapaniaris is going to be on the Magic Hour on the 20th of February, the very night that his show is on. Now that the cat's out of the bag, everybody who's watching will know.
In a week's time?
Yeah, in a week's time from now. But if I say in a week's time and this aired, they're going to think it's in a week's time from that.
Yeah.
No. But yes, so they've heard it on the episode that Ben Petch was in, that George Kapaniaris is coming here. I'm hoping I'm saying that name right. It's coming here, and I couldn't be more thrilled.
Excellent.
What really gets me the most is that George is very well known in Australia.
He's been for a few decades, hasn't he?
I think 40 years he's been in the field. And for somebody of his status, of his celebrity here in Australia, to want to come to this show, it speaks volumes. It really does. I mean, he doesn't have to do that.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't really.
He doesn't have to come to the Magic Hour.
Commit his busy schedule to want to be here, and the fact that he said that he wants to be here, it's like wow.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, wow. It'll be equivalent to being in the US and Dave Chappelle says, "I want to be on your show." You know what I mean? And I'm hoping.
Well, you're putting him as Dave Chappelle.
He's the Dave Chappelle of Australia. No. But come on. The thing is, okay, Dave Chappelle's international.
Yeah, but he's not the Dave Chappelle of Australia.
No, of course not. But what I'm saying is, it feels like that.
Yeah, it feels. Oh, yeah.
You know, it feels like that to me.
And it feels like the rest of her are just scum then.
No, I'm not saying that. You're not putting those words in my mouth. No.
All of you that've been on this show.
The thing is, like he obviously appreciates it.
Yeah, it's good. And your audience.
This show has always been wanting to help the local people.
Correct.
Their talent. Like at first, it was a random thing. I didn't find which direction my podcast was going to go. I was really hoping to be political. You know, because of what was of the ongoing things that are happening.
Yeah.
And the only problem with that is people are afraid to speak.
Yeah.
And if you're afraid to speak, then that means there is no freedom of speech. Because,
Yeah.
And this is something that I feel very strongly against. People should have the right to say. I once said a freedom of speech doesn't mean you have a freedom to speak, because sometimes what you speak is nonsense. But you do have the right for that nonsense. And people need to be diplomatic about situations. I don't think anything should be too controversial to talk about. The more afraid people are, I believe, of speaking out, is the main cause of why so many negative things are happening.
No, you're very good. You're a very good host as well.
Well, thank you. And the reason why I love comedy so much is because it gives us that platform to want to be able to say that. And yes, it could cost us opportunities. It could cost you a competition. It could, and it probably will. But you know what I say to that? Fuck them. Because if it's in my heart and if it's funny, if it's in your heart and it's funny.
Yeah, listen to your heart, not your head.
The thing is, if it makes the audience laugh, it doesn't matter what it's about. Our goal as comedians or wannabe comedians is to make the audience laugh. And of course, you can't please everybody, but that goes for all professions, not just in comedy, in everything. It's like if you're a singer, they might not like your particular genre of music, but that doesn't mean you suck. It means they prefer something else. But it doesn't mean you can't rock it. You can still rock it. And that's the episode for today. Thank you for joining us in this particular episode with Ben Petch. Please feel free to follow me on my Instagram at Fame Film Agency. And please click and subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow Ben Petch.
And ring the bell.
Channel.
You have to tell them to ring the bell.
Ring the bell. Okay, fine. I never asked them to do that.
Yeah,
and
hit the bell notification.
And hopefully, after George's appearance, it would attract others to come by, and I will no longer have to say, "I'm broke, bitch."